Hey everyone, this is Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission, and I have another thrift haul for you guys today. I am a 14-year online reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Depop. Notice I didn't say anything about Mercari. Yikes. But today I have a regular thrift haul for you guys. So when I say that, I mean that it's not from a Goodwill and it's not from a pay by the pound Goodwill bins or other bins type of place. I have several locations that I put into my rotation as far as sourcing for my online business. And if you know, you know. If you've seen a few of my other thrift hauls, I go to a specific thrift store that usually sends me home with a giant garbage bag full of stuff. I'm not sure why that's the way they do it. However, that is the way they do it. So if you see the big garbage bag, then you know it's from one of, honestly, a lot of different thrift stores that are in my rotation. Now, one of the reasons why I do like a kind of a big rotation, I'm lucky enough to be like in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, but still within an hour to hour and a half to a lot of different thrift store options. So I'm not like in the middle of nowhere, like 5 hours away from a Walmart. However, I do have several different options and I kind of just rotate where I go. And that kind of keeps things fun and exciting, but also keeps my options open. So if I go to a place, one of my options one day, and I'm like, oh gosh, that was a total dud, I didn't find anything, then I have other options to go to. Actually, recently I found a couple new thrift stores that I've put into my rotation, because even after all of these years, I still have other locations that I haven't been through. So I guess that's a blessing. Anyways, I'm going to get to this thrift haul. I did peek in. So if you guys know me, I'm usually a couple weeks behind on everything. So I apologize, but this bag has been sitting for a couple weeks. I peeked in a little bit and I was like, oh yeah, I remember picking that up. But my mom brain is mushy. So if I'm a couple weeks out, I guarantee there's some things at the bottom of this bag that I'm like, oh my goodness. And honestly, for me, it's like second Christmas because the fun part about being a reseller for me is the thrifting and the sourcing, of course. But, you know, we don't get to do that. I don't get to do that as often as I'd like. If I could have a job, it would literally just be sourcing and thrifting, but not the shipping and the cleaning and the, you know, taking pictures and the listing and all that part, because I would just like to go shop at thrift stores all day long. But unfortunately for me, that's not, I guess that's not a real job. I have to do the other parts of being a reseller. So leaving this a couple weeks until I finally get to process it and being able to go over the items I found. Hopefully it's a good thrift haul where I can be re-excited about the items that I picked up a couple weeks ago. And, you know, like I said, it's like second Christmas for me. So I get to relive the thrifting part of it, the sourcing part, which I really only do about once a week, honestly. I am a part-time reseller. This eBay, Poshmark, Depop part of my business is part-time. I devote about 25 hours a week to my online reselling. So before I blab your ears off too much and you run off and find someone cooler, this one might be a little bit longer. It feels kind of heavy. I didn't see a receipt at the top. There might be one at the bottom. I always get a receipt, but there's just no saying whether or not it's at the bottom or if I shoved it in my purse and I'll find it later and then finally put it into my filing cabinet. So let's just get into it. I will tell you guys how much I paid for it and why I feel like it's going to be a good pickup and what I think it's going to sell for. And you guys let me know. I love hearing your feedback. I've actually learned a ton from some of the newest subscribers, comments, keywords, thoughts on different style aesthetics, all kinds of things. So actually that makes me really excited. So thank you all for being here. If you're listening and you're not a subscriber and you love this type of conversation and these types of videos, thrifting, reselling, all those things, fashion, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. A huge part of my video watchers. Actually, most of them are not subscribers, which I find kind of interesting, but YouTube like provides that information for you. So hey, if you're not subscribed, consider hitting that button for me. I would really appreciate it. Let's stop wasting time and see what's in this big bag of stuff, which I did see this, and this is a very classic pickup for me. If you didn't know, I'm in the middle of Wisconsin. Well, southern Wisconsin, middle of nowhere, nowhere important. And I have mentioned before that I do find maybe more cowboy, cowgirl, farm, ranch aesthetic type of items, because that's kind of what Wisconsin is. So this was a fun item for me. It's Wrangler, but this is a vintage Wrangler, and it's the Western shirt line. And see, this size says 3XLT. It's not a paper tag, but it's definitely an older tag. And it was made in Honduras. So if you get the vibe that an item is possibly from the vintage era, which means it's more than 20 years old, start looking at the tag, see where it's made from, how they kind of, you know, tagged it, and those things might give you more clues about whether or not it really is a vintage item. This is like your classic plaid, long sleeve, pearl snap. Pearl snap is definitely something that is more sought after in the cowboy, cowgirl, rodeo, ranch, farm type of items that you're picking up. I do believe this is vintage. I paid $3.50 for this. It was a half off tag. Blue was half off. And the size, being that it's a 3X tall, adds value. So I'm constantly talking about things that kind of add value or maybe subtract value. So vintage, Wrangler, plaid, long sleeve, pearl snap, double pocket. Obviously the 3XT, if I didn't mention that already, all those things will add value. The solds were in the $25 range with that type of style. The Wrangler, the pearl snap, Western. Put all those keywords. You guys know I'm like a keyword, I don't know. I just start spewing things and just things that come to mind as far as what kind of item, why I picked it up, and why, who I'm trying to market it to, or who I think might like it. Now this, it's a little rough, but this is a style-based pickup, and it doesn't look like anything that fantastic, like that, you know, exciting. However, this is a fairy gothic, maybe even emo, dark romantic, style-based pickup. Now, this is a vintage, no boundaries, which is Walmart. I'm selling old Walmart stuff because there is a client base for that. No boundaries stretch. Let's see where it's made. Made in Mexico, and it's a junior size 11-13. There is a little bit of like, see how this is on the hemline there? I will, or the collar, I will put that in the description. But here are the reasons why. Okay, first of all, like I said, there's no boundary stretch. This is a vintage, maybe like Y2K style. This lace up in the front is very classic, like witchy goth. So those are keywords that I will put in. The dark, like maroonish, red, purple color is very on trend with this flare fairy sleeve. See how it flares out like that? Those are all keywords I will put in there. This, the tie-up is fantastic. I paid $4.99. Most of my style-based pickups, especially in that kind of, you know, genre aesthetic for that type of client, is going in the 25 plus or minus range. So for $5 to $25, I'm going to list that at $29 most likely. What is this? This is kind of like drawing my attention here. I love this pattern. So this is another vintage piece. Look at this. Like, some of you are going to be like, what? This is like too much. And I get that. Like, you guys have seen my videos, I'm literally in a Columbia zip up and like leggings every day of my life. But I still love this piece. The brand I don't think is anything to write home about. It's Cricket Lane. But see, this is a paper tag, which gives you the you know, bing, like the thought process that it could be or most likely is a vintage piece. It says made in USA, so most likely that's a vintage piece. Now, there are things that are modern day made in USA, so you kind of have to go through some of that process. Cricket Lane with this paper tag and this style, it's vintage. Just a polyester blend, size 10. I paid $4.99. This print is so many things. To me, it is like a Victorian, kind of like a classic. I mean, it does in a little bit of a way give you like, I don't want to say like a Christmas or holiday vibe, but with like the color tones it does. This is elegant. This screams to me like almost like old money, or kind of like a rich aesthetic with the plaids, the floral. Look at that. If anybody else has any other keywords we could use with this, I just love this print. So $4.99. This will also go in the $25 to $30 range. My business model is basically that. I take items usually $5 or less, even, you know, depending on where it's coming from. If it's from the bins, then it's only $1. And then I flip it for 20, 25, 30. And then I always usually have some other items that are higher priced. But my bread and butter sells in the $20 to $30 range. There's a lot of unique things about this item, and I do feel like I'll probably list in $25 to $29. I kind of love that piece, like secretly. Like low-key, I wish I could pull that off somehow. But I am just such a plain Jane. Oh, I remember texting my sister about this because I was like, I think I found something really good, but I'm not an expert in it. Here's the brand. See, it says Tech Merino. That's the part that kind of tipped me off. Zegna. Zegna. And after doing, I remember like searching and sending my sister a few comps that day. The brand is like, I can't even say it. Ermerl Zenegno. Oh my God, that's completely wrong. That's completely wrong. But it's Zegna, Zegna. It's like a long, it's a long name, but it's Zegna. And it is like a designer, really sought after, high-end brand. Like I said, what tipped me off was the Tech Merino, which to me was, maybe it's a base layer item. It's a merino wool type of item. The price is $6.99. Let's see the tag. The Zegna, though, that it is a good brand. This is something you want to keep an eye out for. Yeah, merino wool. It says Zegna right on it. I remember looking this up, and the comps were in the comps were kind of crazy on this brand. I think because it originally retails for many hundreds of dollars. So I think it depends on the item, like the type that you have. I am going to guess, I am going to put this up for $50 to $60. And this is $6.99. It's a great size. It's an XL merino wool, long sleeve, like a dark purple. And the brand is something with an E. I'm not even going to try to say it again. Zegna, Zegna. Really, that was a really fun find for me. And I thought, yeah, see, I thought I found a couple pieces. You know, sometimes when people donate to thrift stores, they donate several nice pieces. So if you get really lucky and you're like the first ones to get, you know, into the items that they just got donated, you might find multiples of a killer find. And this is also Zegna, 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 but it's a different type of line, Zegna. And I believe it's cashmere because it's cachetta light, made in Italy. All of those are indicators of why I would look at it more. $5.99, feels soft. It has to be cashmere of some sort. Made in Italy is obviously, ooh, it's cashmere and silk. Oh man. So if it's a cashmere and silk sweater in virtually every brand, I would be looking up comps. And for Zegna, made in Italy, this is a great item. I don't want to tell you, I'm guessing I'm going to list in the $50 to $70 range on this. It could be more or less. I've been doing some live. Let's see if I can I'm going to look this up at this very moment. I've done this a couple times for you guys on these thrift hauls. I like to be as honest as possible with you guys. So let's just look it up really fast. What was it? Cashetta Zegna. Cashetta Zegna sweater, men's clothing. And we're going to go to the solds. So when I look up comps, I usually do a comparison between solds and active. First of all, your sell-through rate is going to be how many are available compared to how many are sold, sell-through. So you want to have items, these solds came up. You don't want to have 1,000 items available and only 5 have sold, because that means not a lot of people are buying it. Ideally, you'd have only 5 items available and 1,000 have sold. That would be like a fantastic sell-through rate in our dreams. But you don't want to have a ton listed and only a few sold. Maybe I'll do a video on that to explain that a little bit more. But I'm looking at the solds for this light V-neck sweater. This one right here is $40. $75. I'm really going to have to go through, because some of these, like this one, is $175, $149. This one's only $50. So it's going to be interesting looking at comps. Either way, this is a great find. For $5.99, I'm thinking I'm going to get 40 to 50, no problem. And if I find solds that warrant maybe a little bit higher of a price, I will. Zegna, cashmere and silk. The brand itself definitely adds a bunch of value. The material adds a bunch of value. Made in Italy adds value. And so all of those things combined, it was a size extra large. This is so soft. Like, I just want to it's so soft. Ooh, I see a nice style-based piece here. See, and now this is the same size. I bet this was the same person. Theory, which is a designer brand with kind of mixed comps. I think the feelings are kind of mixed sometimes about Theory. It's a size extra large. This has to be some kind of merino, just by the feel. If you're newer, eventually you'll get to a point where you can feel it. It's 79% merino wool blend. Again, just kind of your classic men's sweater, merino wool. Theory does add value here. I'm going to say that this is going to sell in the $30 to $40 range. Theory is a good brand. You do want to stick to more substantial pieces. This is a size extra large. Your classic black, that's a closet staple. That's almost like a quiet luxury in a way. The pieces that have a lot of value, but a little bit more of like a kind of a basic piece. You could also maybe put in executive, business casual, because this would be like a very classic, like businessy or business casual type of item that you would wear. I'm going to pick this out because it's staring me right in the face, and I love this. This is a style-based piece. The brand is Dress Barn. Now, I've shown you guys some different Dress Barn items. Size medium, made in Canada. Again, this is likely a Y2K or late 90s piece. I'm going to say Y2K. Now, this is a fairy piece all the way. If you're looking to learn about styles, here's a piece for you to look at. See this little gold line going through underneath the bust? This is a baby doll style, the way that the fit is. It's a baby doll style. It has all this like a burnout look with the different colors. See how it almost looks like tie-dye-ish? Sequins. And then this flare sleeve with the tie. This is all day, fairy goth, maybe a little bit grunge. Usually grunge is a little bit darker of colors, but fairy goth, whimsy goth, those are style-based pickups. This is a very classic style for that, you know, like I always say, we have all these different clients or, you know, customer bases who are looking for certain items. You have the business casual. We had that Western rodeo cowboy type of item, you know. So the more you know about all of these different types of items, the better. And I do feel like, and I don't ever pat myself on the back, but I do feel like I have a good knowledge about a lot of different styles, and that does benefit me. Because if I go to a place and there's 10 other resellers, I have knowledge about a lot of different types of items. And I follow people who only do certain things, and I'm in no way, you know, saying that they're as good as I am. I'm just saying the more that I know, for me, being in a competitive market, it helps me find items in a lot of different genres or a lot of different customer bases. I hope that comes out the way I'm intending it to. And you know what? If you just love certain types of items, there's no shame in focusing on those types of items, because then you're going to become an expert in those certain customer bases. Like for a long time, and still today, I'm pretty good at selling plus size clothes. That's because I've done it for I've done it basically my entire career here on selling online for 14 years. So, you know, I can pick out pieces and be like, man, that's a $20 bill right there. Like without really much question. And that kind of brings me some happiness, because then I don't have to think about it much. Ooh, this is a cute little piece. Now this was half off. This is $3.50. This is another vintage item. Look at this tag, you guys. Can you see? HGNY. You can see how it's like this floral, very interesting. Made in India, 100% cotton. This, like, if you can see the way that this tag looked, this is a very classic, like early 2000s, like style of tag. I see this all the time on my Y2K era items. This to me with this beautiful, I will put embroidery, glitter, shimmer, floral. This definitely gives me a little bit of like a grandma-core, peasant, cottagecore, all those keywords. It is actually new with tags, but it's like 20 years old. Look at this tag. See how it's like stamped with the style? That's how you know, like this is a little bit older of a tag. This also gives me like maybe garden vibes. We're going into spring, right on, you know, cue here. $3.50. I'll put this out for $25 to $30, and I don't think I'll have much problem. Now this is also, I'm attracted to different prints. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I love this print. This is such a classic. You guys, think about it. What do you think on this? Southwestern, tribal, Aztec, cowboy, Western. The brand is Crazy Cat, which I have sold in the past. The brand doesn't really bring a whole lot of value to it, but obviously the style does. The size is 12-14, which is like a large-ish. Let me see if I can button this super quick. But this is, so buttons on the left typically mean that it is a ladies item. Ooh, it has covered buttons. Covered buttons is like when you have the button up, but there's a piece of fabric over it, so it doesn't look like it has buttons, but it does. So I would say overall, this is still a style-based pickup. $4.99, size large, Aztec, tribal. This print here, you know, this like Western Aztec print is very popular. I'll still put cowboy, cowgirl, rodeo, all those things. This is a $25 to $30 all day. I'll try to go faster so I don't bore you guys as long. This one's going to be a little bit longer, which, you know, that's okay. You guys tell me. Am I boring you too long? This is another dress barn. It's a half off, so it was $2.50. And it still has the NUA tag, even though I can tell right off the bat, this is probably a 20-year-old item. Again, this is like a Y2K piece. The ruffle down the front, if you can see like that accordion like ribbing, that's very classic of Y2K era items. This would definitely go like grunge. Again, look at how the print is with the different colors. The ruffle down the front. It is stretchy. I will go with all of those keywords. Again, this looks like a beautiful print. Again, I'm just drawn to these different prints. Ooh, yeah, this is a vintage. Again, this does have the paper tag. I always say, do you hear that paper tag? Because it just is, it's usually like kind of stiff and you can hear it. Made in USA, polyester blend, size 24W. So this is a plus size. The brand is Joanna. Not the reason why I picked it up for sure. I do have certain vintage and Y2K brands I do pick up for the reason that there is a following behind the brand. However, this one isn't that case, but look how pretty this is. No doubt there's a reason why I picked this up. $5.99. Perfect time of year. This gives me spring, Mother's Day, Easter vibes. Of course, a beautiful floral print. This gives me like a almost like a garden cottagecore peasant. I can feel the shoulder pads in it, which is also an indication that it was an older piece. And this is a button-down blazer. So I put all those keywords in. This might be a piece that might sit a little bit longer because it's a cottagecore blazer, but I just love this print. And it's vintage, made in the USA. This can't end up in a landfill somewhere, you guys. If you don't know, that's definitely part of my passion. I love picking up items, especially when I know that they might end up in a garbage can somewhere or in a landfill or something. You know, some of these items, they're 20, 30 years old, and I just hope that I can really find the right customer who's going to love this. It's a stunning piece, and that someone will give it a new life. That really means a lot to me. That's because I'm lame, you guys. Oh, I'm lame. Okay, here's another vintage. So actually this has a lot of vintage and style-based items. Then you had a couple of those Zegna pieces, which is a brand-based and material-based item. So you have your vintage Wrangler, which is like a classic. My bag just fell off the end of my... Now I have to decide if I should edit that out. You guys, look at my Columbia, my blue Columbia today. Oh, goodness. Anyway, so you have a lot of different, nothing like raw video here. You have a lot of different items here. You have a lot of style-based. You have vintage, Y2K, the Zegna pieces, which are designer and brand-based, material-based. Here's another vintage item. The brand is Cactus. It says made in the USA right there. And I just love, this gives me Lagan look almost vibes, even though it's pink. Look at that butterfly. Vintage, made in the USA. It has pockets right here. Maxi dress. This is garden, Lagan look, boho. Just a very cute piece. I'll put the embroidery. Butterfly is actually very popular right now. Just a very nice piece. Lagan look, I already said. All of those reasons, that's going to be a $25 to $30 sale. So you can see most of these items, my sold price is going to be in the $25 to $30 range. And then some of these more unique pieces are going to be more expensive than that. Here's a Torrid. Torrid is bread and butter for me. It is a pretty saturated market. So I would be selective in what you pick. This is, oh my gosh, I wish this was my size. Look at this beautiful, this is a dress. Beautiful floral print with this lace. These longer boho dresses do really well. This actually is kind of heavy. See this like lace? You can call it maybe tiered because it has these lace tiers in the dress. I will put all of those keywords in it. Lace, tiered, boho. I believe this is a maxi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a maxi dress. All of those reasons. This is just stunning. I paid $3.50 for this. It was a half off tags. It's a size 3X. Like I said, Torrid is a little bit saturated. However, this is just a beautiful piece, especially going into like wedding season. Someone needs to rock this gorgeous dress for $3.50. I'm going to probably put that in the $30 to $40 range. The Torrid is like, if you have a tank, you're looking at 15 to 20, unless it's like something fancy like silk or something. For their normal blouses, you're looking at 15 to 25. If you're going into sweaters, tunics, heavier, more substantial pieces, then you're at 25 to 30. The dress, like a long length dress with all of those different reasons to pick it up, you're hopefully, I'm guessing I'm going to get $30 to $40 for that dress. What I got here? Now this is Columbia, which I don't pick a lot of Columbia up. I'm very specific in the items that I pick up from Columbia, but there still is money to be made with that brand. So don't let that fool you. If I need to show you the Columbia, this tag here, this is half off, so $4.50. The size is 40 by 32. So this is a size men's. It's a men's size. This is an olive, darker green colored hiking pant. I've mentioned this before. Right now we are in that season. It is a, there's a little dust at the bottom. This says Omni Shade, which is one of their, they have all these different like sub brands. So they have Columbia, and then there's like Omni Shade, UPF, PFG, all these different things. So definitely make sure if you see something like this that says Omni Shade, which Omni Shade is usually something that has like UPF, SPF protection, or that's why it was produced. Sometimes it does even say on the tag that it has some kind of UPF or SPF. I don't see it just with a quick look, but put that in there. Omni Shade. We're going into this, the season. So put in hiking, camping, outdoors, SPF, UPF, if that applies. If you can see, if you have an item that has UPF or SPF, definitely put that in there. I will have to check. Cargo pocket, great for hiking, camping, all of those things. It's a very classic item. This is another 25 to 30. I paid, $4.50. But this season, like going into spring, is huge for that word, like hiking, utility, all of those things. So definitely use those to your advantage. And when you're looking at your seasons, I almost want to do like a little rundown on my seasons and the type of items that I'm going to be looking for during that time frame. So this is a size 3X, another Torrid bread and butter, but this is a new with tags. So I think that's one of the reasons why I picked it up, because it is more of a basic piece, a very lovely piece. It has this eyelet detail. There you go. You can see it a little bit, that eyelet. This is boho. This is peasant. It's also like, I don't know, it's just pretty. Feminine. But it's new with tags. So your new with tags basic Torrid pieces will give you a little bit more dollar amount. Like I said, that's what I'm always doing with my items, is kind of stacking and subtracting. Like, is the size good? Oh, it's not. Then I would, make it a little bit less. Is the fabric good? That's just how my brain kind of works after all these years of doing these things. Now this is, I love this, but this is Style & Co. This is an older Style and Co. This is another plus size item, 3X. This is my bread and butter. Style and Co. is one of the brands that I do pay attention to finding. Look at this lovely floral print, just beautiful. You want to look out for lightweight. This buttons down the front. This is about a 3/4 sleeve, but it has a little bit of like a looser sleeve, which is really nice, with a band at the end. Peasant, boho, prairie, all of those things. Very lovely, solid piece. This is a 20 to 25 all day for me. Like I said, that's just a classic item for me. This is $2.50. This is a Torrid active size 3 bra. Now, I have mentioned before, I do love doing intimates, sports bras, those types of things, but you just have to be selective. Torrid does have a following. This is only $2.50. So this bra is going to go in between $15 and $20. Really nice piece though. Again, a bread and butter for me. Oh, I see this here. And this is Polo Ralph Lauren. This is a kid's piece, size 6. It's a half off, so I paid $3. Now, I've said before, like, don't skip the kids' items, but I also understand if you skip the kids' items because there's so much to look through. It can be overwhelming, and only a certain amount is worth flipping unless you have a really low cost of goods. So if you're at the Goodwill bins where a kids item only costs you like 25 cents and you can flip it for $15 or $20, that might be within your business model and that makes sense. I'm paying $3, but this is Polo Ralph Lauren. It's size 6, this really cute dress. This is a $15 to $20 piece. Very cute. The buttons have the logo right on it. So if you're into kids, I do occasionally talk about kids items here. But I also understand that some people kind of skip that part. And I don't blame you at all because, you know, there's just a lot. Like a lot of times if you go to a thrift store, there's like hundreds and hundreds, just like rows of kids items. So it takes a lot of time and you really have to know whether or not it's going to be worth it to flip. But there is money in kids items. So this is another one of my bread and butter. I talked about this on a couple of my videos lately. LOGO. It's just logo. This is a very classic jersey knit, which is like a stretchy, soft, smooth material, liquid knit. A nice print here. It's a tunic length. Does it have pockets? Oh yeah, it has the slouchy pockets. This is a very classic item. Most of my logo items go between $20 and $30 for plus size. What is this little thing? Oh my gosh. The bottom of this bag is a little tiny. This only cost $2. A little tiny Columbia rain jacket. That is where I will say, if you're looking at kids and you just want to keep it on the really basics of reselling kids items, would be outdoor type of items. Coats and jackets, maybe even like snow pants, bibs, those types of things. Is if you were going to keep it really simple, that is probably where I would suggest to go, is the outdoor type of items. This is like the same tank as before. Oh my gosh, is it the same one? That other one was a size 3. This is a size 2. That's kind of odd. It's also new with tags, size 2, brand new, $4.99, Torrid. Maybe someone had the same item in 2 sizes, and instead of returning it, maybe they just donated it. I don't know. They're new with tags, but that is really odd. Yeah. So 25 to 30 on this one. Brand new with tags, Torrid. I don't know what happened there. That's really interesting. I didn't even think about that. I wonder if I knew that when I was throwing it all in my cart. Like a mad, crazy dash. You guys remember that show? Supermarket Sweep. Okay, now I'm showing my age. I remember my sisters and I really enjoyed watching that show. And they went through the grocery store and they tried to get all the most expensive things and throw it in their grocery cart. That was the reference I was just talking about. Did I really know I picked up 2 items? See, you can see it here. 2 items, brand new with tags, just in a different size. And I'm assuming it was from the same person. It would almost have to be. Anyways, do they still make that show? I would love to watch it. This next one is Ralph Lauren in plus size, does great. This is a bread and butter all day. This is a beautiful white and pink pinstriped button-down shirt. These will go for $25. I paid $6, which again is a little bit on the higher side, but I'm willing to, higher side for me, I'm willing to pay $4, $5, $6 on items I feel very solid. I'll list this for $29 because I do have offers up, or I do have like a percentage off on my eBay store almost always. So I do put my price a little bit higher. That's just my strategy. And I would guess I will get $22 to $25 for that fairly quickly. Is this the last item? What's this? Oh, this is another bra. $2.50, Torrid Curve, size 3. Again, these bras, especially from Torrid in the larger sizes, this is a $15 to $20. And again, I just love supporting my plus size babes and keeping things from landfill. So also, intimates and bras are really easy to store and they don't take up a lot of space. This is just another logo. Where is the tag here? I'm showing you the price tag, but I'm not showing you, here it is, I'm sorry. Logo Lounge, L-O-G-O, Lounge is what it says, her comfier items, and that makes sense. This is a super soft long sleeve and a beautiful tie-dye. Tie-dye is almost like classic to me because there's always a clientele that wants like this tie-dye print. This is super cozy. I can feel the material is nice. Sometimes they trick you on the material. Yeah, this is just a polyester spandex, but it feels super nice. The date on the logo, the newer logo items have the date right on it. This is 07 of 22. It has a style name right on it, Vanya. So this is only a 3-year-old item, so that's still pretty close to being on trend, on style. My logo items, again, this will be, I will put at $29 all day. My logo items, the tie-dye, the colors in that. So there you have it. This was a little bit longer of one. If you made it to the end here and you're still listening, you know I appreciate you and I love you. I do love this haul. It's a great mix. It is really a great mix of the different types of items that I pick up. We have a lot of style-based items, my bread and butter, especially my plus-size bread and butter in here. We have Cowgirl, we have Fairy, and then we have some designer items, which I don't always get the pleasure of finding. The Zegna items with the silk, the cashmere, the merino wools. Those are solid $40, $50, $60 items. I'm interested even myself to see how high those go because I don't find that brand a whole lot. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out. But silk and cashmere in a sweater of a designer brand is kind of a no-brainer, and I'm sure that's why I picked it up, even though I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to sell for. So there you go. You guys let me know, check in. What do you think of any of these items? A lot of you actually have been commenting on brands that you've also picked up, things that you see that you would also pick up and for what reason and all those things. So I do love hearing from you. Let me know what you think. I'm sure I will have another video coming soon. I hope you guys are doing so well, and you guys know I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.